for joining us. We got a doubleheader coming your way as I will be on with Rhino in Sacktown coming up at 8 o'clock right after the game. Of course, hockey starting right now with the Rangers and the Panthers. So happy that you have been able to join me right here on If You Don't Like That. But again, 8 o'clock, another show tonight right here on If You Don't Like That. Obviously, the big news, the passing of Bill Walton. I did my podcast on my memories of Bill that dropped this morning. You can check it out on my website, if you don't like that.com, or your favorite podcast platform. I reflected on my friendship with Bill. What a great guy. It was amazing when I look back at my career that I actually did a number of games with Bill. I don't know, maybe I'm only guessing here, 40 games, 50 games with Bill, always entertaining. I was very open in my podcast. It was not easy for me because when I did the game with Bill, that means Jerry wasn't with me, and I didn't like that. You know, I didn't think it was right that Jerry had to go through that, and that bothered me. Jerry knows it bothered me, and I knew it bothered Jerry, and it was wrong, is what it was. But it was out of our hands, and it was out of my hands, and I had a job to do, and I genuinely liked Bill, and I think Jerry would have said the same thing, that it was nothing personal. I mean, Jerry liked Bill too, but again, it was a pleasure to do the games with Bill and be around Bill. And the Kings were terrible back then, and Bill made the game entertaining. From my perspective, I knew that Bill was the guy. The reason why people were going to tune into the game was not because of me, but it was because of Bill. If they weren't going to tune into the game already, in other words, probably there were some people that said, "Hey, I want to hear Bill Walton." And I would also think there were people that were pushed away by Bill. Bill had this persona, Southern California, LA guy. Sacramento and LA don't mix because of what happened with the Kings and the Lakers and that rivalry. I mean, I get that. It's like the Giants and the Dodgers. So, but being around Bill Walton was fun. Then when Luke was the coach, he used to share a lot of stories of growing up with his dad and what that was like. I was very friendly with Danny Ainge. And when I was with Danny, he would share stories of what it was like playing on the Celtics during the 80s with Bill. So I had a pretty good knowledge of Bill. And I talked about this on my podcast. The last time that I saw Bill was outside the locker room at Madison Square Garden when he was with Luke. And, after Bill did his, "Hey, who are you?" "Hi, Bill Walton." "Oh, hi, Bill. Nice to see you. I'm Grant Napier." And Bill goes, "Grant, I want you to meet somebody." And it was the drummer for the Grateful Dead. I'm not a Deadhead. I don't know anyone in the group, but the point is, I knew that Bill's maybe the I don't know if anyone's been to more Dead concerts than Bill Walton. I mean, he's been to hundreds. And so I wasn't surprised that Bill was with a member of the Grateful Dead outside the locker room in Madison Square Garden. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. But I believe that his first name is Mickey. Does that sound right? I'm not the drummer for the Dead. Does that sound about right? But again, just a passion, just the absolute love for life. I never saw it. First of all, I didn't know Bill had cancer. I don't think anybody knew Bill had cancer outside of his immediate family. I mean, it was a shock. Shock. I mean, Bill was just on TV with Dave Pash on ESPN in February doing a game. Bill looked fine. Nobody knew he had cancer. Or again, I sure didn't know. I mean, most people that I've seen were shocked. No one knew that he had cancer. That's the way Bill was. Bill wasn't one to tell people of any hardships that he was going through. Bill was in a lot of discomfort because of his parts of his body being fused. I mean, Bill never complained about being in pain. Never. You know, he had the broadcast next to me in a special chair that was a lot higher because of his back. Never complained about it. Never complained. Never heard Bill complain about anything. All my years of being around Bill Walton, and I knew Bill, gosh, I don't know. I'm guessing here, probably in the 90s. It's the first time I met Bill Walton, and then Bill would talk to me before the national broadcast that he was doing on NBC before the game to get, his homework done. And then I worked with Bill. And then I'd see Bill a lot when we went to LA when Luke was coaching, and I would always chat with Bill. And again, the last time I saw him was a couple of years ago when I was doing the Knicks game outside Madison Square Garden. There will never be another Bill Walton. There will never be a personality like Bill. There will never be another broadcaster like Bill. I don't know if there will ever be a more happy-go-lucky, lively, everything's great soul than Bill. So I'm shocked. I speak for a lot of people. When I saw that Bill had passed, I just was like, oh my God. And then when I saw cancer, I was like, wow, I didn't even know he had cancer. That's how Bill lived his life. He wasn't one to complain. He wasn't one to complain. So, my life was enriched because I had a chance to know Bill and work with Bill. And I'm grateful that I was able to have my presence be around him. So I just want to give you some thoughts on that. If you want to call the show, you can. You got the QR code. You've got everything else that you need. All you need to do is click on that link and you are good to go. All right? You're good to go. Don't forget, again, Ryan is going to be with me coming up at 8 o'clock. All right? So again, here are your links. We got everything rolling. All right? Everything rolling. But give me a call if you want. You got the QR code, you got the links, and everything else right here. All right. Appreciate all the messages as always. Kyle says, rest in peace, Bill Walton, amazing Celtic. Hope my C's get it done in the finals. To me, I didn't even mention his basketball. Did I even mention that Bill played basketball? I don't even know if I mentioned the word basketball player when I was just talking about Bill. I didn't think of him as a basketball player. Yes, he was an amazing Celtic, but I don't think of Bill that way. I didn't even spend a lot of time talking about that on my podcast. There was a lot more to Bill Walton than a basketball player. And I don't know if ever one time when I was in the presence of Bill, did I ever say to myself, wow, I'm with Bill Walton, like the great former Celtic, or I don't know, maybe I did, but it's not one of the things that ever came to my mind. It's funny you say that, Kyle, because, I've been on now for what, 10 minutes. And I don't think I mentioned Bill being one of the great players in the history of college basketball and a great pro. I don't even think I mentioned that. It's not important to me. I never, when I think of Bill Walton, I don't think about that. I think of Bill with a smile, holding court, making people feel good about themselves, saying whatever he believes, not worrying about how people feel about what he just said. No filter, authentic. But again, I never even thought of him. Yes, you're right. He was an amazing Celtic, but I don't think of Bill Walton that way when I think of Bill. It doesn't even enter my mind, as you can tell. Does not enter my mind. All right, again, if you want to join the show, you know how to do so. If you want to send me a message, again, feel free to do that as well. And again, we'll be on at 8 o'clock or close to it, but we'll start the show at 8 regardless, with the Mavs trying to advance to the NBA Finals. Hockey, Rangers, Panthers, all right, with that series up 2-1. Boy, I tell you, it's very difficult to win a series in the National Hockey League when you lose 2 games, all right, in overtime. And the last 2 games, the Rangers have won in overtime, double overtime, and then the first overtime. And the Rangers were thoroughly outplayed in game 3, but they're the ones that got the goals when they had to, and they're 2 games away from the Stanley Cup Finals. I'll be watching hockey. I'll check out the basketball, but yeah, in the Napier household, it's the National Hockey League. All right? That's the way it is in the National Hockey League. All right, glad that you can join us right here. Let's get to San Diego. Well, we'll get to Rich. Give us a call again. We'll put you on. All right, buddy? Rich, of course, lives in the same community as Bill and ran into Bill quite often. Bill was always out and about on his bike. I remember I told this on my podcast, being at training camp at San Diego State and being outdoors of the basketball facility. And Bill just happened to ride by on his bicycle. You know, Bill was an avid cyclist, would run. I mean, he would go on. I remember the one time I ran into Bill and he told me he was getting ready to do a race from San Francisco to Los Angeles down Highway 1. I go, whoa, 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 whoa. I go, you're going to ride your bike from San Francisco to LA? He goes, yeah, why not? I'm like, on Highway 1. I'm like, come on, Bill. He said, no. Yeah, we got a race. I'm like, whoa, San Francisco to LA? Yeah, what's wrong? You know, like Bill was an avid cyclist. You know, when I was over in China in 2004 and ran into him and Lori, they had been in China an extended period of time for cycling before the China games began when the Kings played the Rockets. So Bill was just so full of life. And again, he was just always out and about in San Diego and Southern California on his bike, always. All right, let's get to Rich. Hello, Rich. How are you?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, got you loud.
Okay. Hey, Grant. Yeah, it's been a rough couple days here in San Diego. I kind of look at Bill Walton as like the mayor of La Mesa. You know, he went to high school at Helix, just about 4 blocks from where I live right now. And last time I saw him, I had my Helix hat on, and he was up playing percussion in this band, and he saw me and he waved to me and stuff. And he's just an amazing guy. And I think one of the most incredible things is almost anytime that I saw him speak in public. In fact, I saw a dedication of a basketball court that was dedicated it was just about a mile from here, in kind of a poor neighborhood. And it was a beautiful basketball court that was put in this park. And he says, "I'm the luckiest guy in the world."
He always said that.
And that was,
Always used to say that. Always used to say that.
yeah.
Did
So,
you or anyone else down there in San Diego know that he had cancer?
no, there was no word about that he had cancer. I was shocked. I got the notice on my phone yesterday morning and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I didn't know he had cancer. I don't think anyone knew he had cancer outside of his immediate family. But Bill always used to say, "I'm the luckiest guy alive." He used to say that on TV all the time.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, I don't know if there was ever a telecast that we did where he didn't say that.
He's the luckiest guy alive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was something else. He's going to be remembered here for a long time. And they've actually got like a little statue up there at the YMCA where he used to swim all the time and stuff. They showed him on the local TV. That thing, and there was people put flowers around there and stuff this morning.
Wow.
And yeah, in fact, my good friend of mine had just seen him just a couple weeks ago. He was at the Neil Young concert, and he said that he really looked frail and he had a cane with him, and he said he's never seen him like that, and
Oh,
he had the
wow.
security help him out of the place. Yeah,
Oh,
I was out of the country at that time. Otherwise, I might have been there.
Scott Pollard spent his part of his youth in San Diego. In Was friends with Luke and the Waltons, and was over at the Waltons' house periodically, and was in the presence of Bill back in that era, which to me would have been amazing. And Scott shared with me some stories of what it was like being at the, Walton household when Bill was there. And, when Luke coached the Kings, he shared with me quite a few stories of what it was like growing up with Bill as his dad. And yeah, he's going to be missed because he was so unique, Rich. There will never be another Bill Walton. Never there. I mean, the guy was so unique.
Yeah. Can you see my T-shirt?
I can now. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a T-shirt that I got from the first fundraiser he did in COVID. He did 3 of them, and
Wow.
I rode my bike in all 3 of them. But this was the very first one, and I was just
Wow.
reading an article this morning that for that fundraiser he raised $100,000 that he gave
He's
to,
an amazing.
yeah, to all nonprofit organizations and here in San Diego. It was amazing. Yeah. So, but
Yeah. Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. Rich, good hearing from you. I really appreciate you checking in. Okay. And welcome back.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Talk to you later,
Thank
Brad.
you.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Good memories down from Rich in San Diego, where uh, Bill was a fixture in that community, an absolute fixture. Again, I'm blessed that I was able to know Bill and be in the presence of Bill, particularly during the time when I did the games with Bill for 2.5 hours. And it was a broadcast that you did by the seat of your pants because you never knew what Bill was going to say, but it was always, it would always make you laugh or go, huh? Yeah, it was pretty amazing, Pretty amazing. Absolutely. It's true about the filter. He knocked the 99 Knicks, but even in his criticism, he proclaimed that David Robinson was chiseled compared to Larry Johnson. What a perspective he had. He was going to say what he wanted to say. And he said some things at times that got people a little upset, but that was Bill Walton, and Bill didn't really care what you thought of him, by the way. Bill wasn't like that. Bill was not going to lose sleep if you didn't like him. Bill knew he wasn't everyone's cup of tea. He knew that, and he was fine with that. It wasn't going to change the way he lived his life. I mean, Bill was who he was, and if you didn't like him, then, too bad. Bill's not going to wish any ill will on you. He's not going to be bothered by that. Bill wasn't bothered by the criticism or the naysayers. And there are a lot of people that did not want to watch Bill do games on TV. They couldn't stand him. I used to deal with that on my radio show after Bill did a game. Every day Bill did a game, I'd have a lot of people call up and say they loved it. I had a lot of people call up and say they couldn't watch the game. They couldn't stand it. I get it. I understand. It's not everybody's cup of tea, you know? I mean, so yeah, I'm still just like in disbelief that Bill's no longer with us. I just again, Bill would not have wanted people sympathizing over him if he let everyone know that he was battling cancer. That's not Bill. Bill didn't want people feeling sorry for him. Bill didn't live his life that way. Bill did not want to inconvenience anyone. So that does not surprise me. I guess what surprises me is that somebody that is famous as Bill and as such a public figure as Bill, and like going to the concert, as Rich said, how that would not have come out in this day and age, where if somebody was said, "Well, Bill's battling cancer," or what have you, that's pretty surprising that that was able to be kept secret in this day and age. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than the fact that I'm blessed, as I said, that I was around Bill, and I appreciate Rich calling in to the show. 8:00, right back here on If You Don't Like That. Hey, I've mentioned this in the past, and I had a couple of people wanting to get the link, so I have it for you. I told you that when I go to Bangkok, I used to go to Bangkok every couple of years to buy my suits and my shirts, and I became very friendly with my tailor and his family. His dad started a business over 50 years ago. It's a family-run business with Bobby and his sister and his son Dane, and they do an amazing job. They're having a trunk show where they go to certain cities in America, and they're going to be in Sacramento on June 18th. Bobby will. And they also do casual clothes. I bought a pair of jeans from Bobby. He made me a pair of jeans. He's made me some casual shirts to go along with my suits and everything else. And Bobby's going to be in Sacramento on June 18th. They have an amazing process for the clothes. I mean, whatever you order, he'll send you one piece, one garment, one suit, one pair of pants, whatever the case may be. You'll do a Zoom call. He'll be able to tell what needs to be altered. He'll then send you up to $100 to have it altered, or you can send it back to Bangkok and they'll do it there and then send it back along with the rest of what your order is. It's amazing. It really is. Here's the link for you. If that works for you, there it is. And you can make an appointment. All right. Or you can also go to Raj's Fashions, rajasfashions.com, and you can get in touch with Bobby that way. It's RAJAS, Raj's Fashions. And again, he does an amazing job. Every time you used to see me on TV, that's my suit and shirts. And sometimes I would buy the ties in America. And the reason for that is it's very difficult to match a tie with a suit and a shirt when you don't have it. And I would buy a lot of my ties in America, but I'm on his website right now, rajasfashions.com, and you can check everything out. It says they're a gentleman's tailor in Bangkok, and I've been producing bespoke menswear for discerning customers for 60 years. I've also seen women in there getting dresses made and everything. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. So you can check it out. All right. Glad you're with me right here on If You Don't Like That. Thank you, John. Well said, Grant. Bill Walton was one of a kind. He will be greatly missed. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Not going to go that long today because we got the game starting in a little bit. I'm going to go and watch the hockey game. I just want to come on today and speak about Bill and his impact on so many people. So many people. So many people. I know I'm going around in different directions here, but I'm still kind of in disbelief here. Rangers, Panthers, 4 minutes into the first period, no score. So I'm going to go and watch that game here in a couple of minutes. And then, of course, the Mavs look to roll on. Think Karl Anthony Towns is going to take 10 threes today and miss them all? How bad's he been in this series? Seriously. How bad's he been? Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Lively's out, by the way, for this game after being injured in game 3. Derek Lively's been playing very well. So, we'll see how that impacts the game when, if you remember, Carl Anthony Townsend was inadvertent, kneed him in the back of the head when he was falling to the floor. What was it? Was that the first half that happened? I think it was the second quarter, right? So we'll see if that impacts the game. But anyway, Mavs, T-Wolves getting ready to get this game underway. Lucas, as well as he's playing, still officially was questionable with a knee. The Mavs could use some time off. They really could. They could really use some time off. So again, Rana will be with me at 8 o'clock. We'll break it down. We're looking forward to it, being right back here on If You Don't Like That. But thanks for sharing your time with me. Quick show today. We'll get you ready for the game, and then we'll be back here at 8. But I just want to come on today and talk about Bill Walton. Thank you, everyone. Talk to you in a couple hours right here